Peace and respect to you all. Welcome to Demolished Doctrine, the beginning of the end of religions. Bum, bum, bum. So they say it's good advice to have something prepared when you have no guests. This is my translation. It is not the King James. It is based on what the King James is based on. The Masoretic text, the Greek lexicon, through Jusinius and Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. Genesis 2. Formerly, they called this the creation of man and woman. Not a bad title, I guess. But it's not talking about a singular man and a singular woman. It's talking about all of mankind. So, I think a better title is The Origins of Mankind. The first two human beings. Now, the following will begin to explain the false claim of the right that Satan asserts over the man Adam and the woman Eve, and indeed all of us descendants of the father and the mother. The father and the mother. These are later referred to in the Ten Commandments as honor your mother and father for a long life. A long life meaning in heaven, that long life. Because it doesn't really matter if you honor your mother and father here, and how are you supposed to if they were pieces of crap? You kind of can't. Should you honor a person who was just horrible? I mean, my dad was pretty messed up. Spake ancient, extant, covetous, false gods, and said, not advantageous that Adam be alone. I will make Adam a helpmeet for Adam. This is Adam, the emotional animal. And the word Adam came from, will be defined as using the story of the birth of Moses. It's going to be defined later. And out of the natural animals, the ancient, extant, covetous, false gods had formed every wild animal that we see on this earth, and every fowl of the air, and gave some of each of them to Adam with some reservation. Now that idea reservation right there, that is clearly in the text, and it's left out of all the translations that I've looked at. To encounter or meet with. And the emotional animal, Adam, whatever Adam called every living creature he obtained, that was the name of them. Well, that makes sense since he's going to be taking them with him, that he can name them whatever he wants. Of course, this Adam right here is the first of the humankinds, the eldest in heaven. Some might even call him God, although I don't think that's correct, because he creates God for the kind of animal that he is. He and Eve are the kind their children will be. And Adam gave names to all the herd animals, and to the fowl of the air, and to every wild animal. And Adam found them sufficient to help accomplish his purpose, or purposes. That being that he's going to go forward and terraform earths. So, sufficient, not perfect, but good enough. So, enough to terraform an earth with. And ancient, extant, covetous, false gods caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. By the way, there's no way to derive from this story that Adam was looking for a mate in the animals. It's really just not there. That's how it came out in late Middle English. Just not there. Sorry, guys. Deep sleep to fall on, and while under, I'm going to call it anesthetic because that's apparently what this is. took from one of Adam's ribs, not took the rib. Funny thing, it turns out that it's true that certain of our bones contain stem cells, and you can derive from stem cells that aren't assigned a specific purpose. In fact, if you look into, I think it was University of California, Berkeley, that redid an experiment done by some university in China. I can't remember the name of that university at all. But you can look up spiny rat, and the hairs look spiky. It doesn't have spines. You can look up spiny rat experiment, and they took from the genetic material of a male and made, with viable ovum, they made a reproducing female for that male rat out of his own DNA. And yeah, it worked. And yeah, that was like 20 years ago. Credit Titan Uranus, who pointed that out to me when I was making these kinds of assertions, that I read the text this way, which Titan is not a religious guy. And closed up the flesh exposed there. Well, yeah, you don't leave a hole in somebody because you took a marrow sample from their ribs. And from that rib material, which ancient, extant, covetous, false gods had taken from the emotional animal, Adam, developed them a woman, and in due time introduced her to the man. Well, I had to wait for her to grow up. I mean, gestation and all that. And Adam said, "This now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, she will be called woman, because she was taken out of man." I think much emphasis was given here to express that Adam and Eve were the same, as in equal. And everything around them was very different. That the other things around them didn't have emotions. And yes, human ribs are fairly superficial, not much in the way, a little bit of muscle, a little bit of skin, not much else. It's not like you've got major organs in the way, and they do contain stem cells. Therefore, will a human leave his sire and his dam, meaning mom and dad, and shall hold fast to his wife, for they are the same flesh. In fact, all of us on this earth are very, very closely related. This suggests implicitly that others, like Adam, are about to be born by a gestational, non-genetic mother, and why the father of all had no father, no mother, and no lineage. If you're the first of a type because of genetic manipulation through high technology, then you have no mother and no father. It's true. Genesis 2:7. Angels alter their genetics to make mankind. Or, why are we a little lower than angels? Why is that claim in there? And the Jehovah angels formed mankind of the pulverized debris from the existent Adam. That is, pulverized debris. They read this as like dust, and they read the word Adam here as red clay, which is about half the definition. So I think because of their Christian presuppositions, they got made from red dust, and that's not exactly the right idea. And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life through a woman in birth pangs. Yes, the birth pangs is in the original text. Born of a woman in birth pangs. And mankind became a fully living soul. They just left it out of the King James, etc. But if you look it up, you'll find it too. And the Jehovah angels had, past tense, already planted a garden eastward in Eden. And there they emplaced the man, and we assume the woman as well, whom this should probably, man right here should be thought of as mankind, not a singular man, whom they had formed. And out of the ground made the Jehovah angels to grow. This is a recap. Sorry, it's a little bit tedious, maybe even boring. Angels grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So we're going to get into that. And a radiant flood of waters went out into Eden delight of Jehovah. We have someone in the background. Midnight. Peace and respect, Midnight.
How you doing?
Welcome, welcome. Your microphone might not be so good. Let me see in just a minute. Say stuff, please.
Well, Richard, I would just like to say that I'm here. And a
Well,
radiant
your
flood of
microphone's good now.
waters, which,
Yeah.
I'm radiant, so I guess that must be water.
You're
I don't
you're
know.
unusually radiant, as a matter of fact.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's called having albinism.
Yeah, albinism or having a shining countenance. True story. Those would be about the same words. Almost angelic.
I mean, I'll take that.
Right
I
on.
am an angel, I guess.
Peace and respect, Orge, Crypta, Maynard saves, TP Seeker, and that looks like everybody that came in. Yeah. Okay. Feel free to come in, guys. I mean, I am going to ask you to show your camera briefly, so that I know you're not, some kind of a troll or something. Okay.
TP
And forgive me
seeker.
for that,
What,
but
toilet paper seeker?
yeah, toilet paper, TP Seeker. He's got Calvin of Calvin and Hobbes with his little cartoon butt showing.
Okay.
Yeah. You know the reference Calvin and Hobbes?
Not offhand, no.
Well, it's a comic like Sunday Comics, but pretty expansive, and they are literally a young boy who's like maybe 5 or something, and then his pet tiger, his toy tiger, and they are the philosophers Calvin and Hobbes. And that's the way they talk through the whole cartoon, only in like kid talk, but all the same concepts of, they have the arguments of Calvin and Hobbes, those kinds of things. It's actually pretty cute and interesting and true to life and
Interesting.
weird. Yeah.
So,
Don't know
what are
who
you
came up
looking
with
at
that
here?
one. I'm looking at the idea for idea translation that I've been working on, which I'm calling the coherent Bible. That means it's coherent within itself and coheres to like the natural realm as we know it. So coherent in those two ways. So my presupposition is that reality is real.
Well, I would ask, what is reality? Reality is
It's
real, but that doesn't really explain what reality
it
is.
it doesn't. But the experience that we share. I'll say it that way.
Well, right, but I would say that two people can share the same experience, but gain completely different things out of it.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely. But that's the argument from qualia. How you experience a certain shade of red is different from how I experience that same shade of red. So that's good evidence we're not the same brain.
I always find it interesting that two people can look at the number six. Let's take the number six, right? I
Yeah,
could, I can look at the number and see six, while you can look at the number and see nine. It's all about perspective, right?
true.
Because if I'm looking up at the number, it looks like a nine. It looks like a six. If you're
Sure.
looking down at the number, it looks like a nine.
Did you know originally that mistake could not be made?
But what do you mean?
Okay. So the original number 1, I don't know, can you see your screen? I'm going to do this. Let me change to this
I mean,
view.
it seems to only apply to certain numbers, right? It wouldn't apply to one, although.
The way we originally wrote numbers, it would apply to none of them, and I'll show you why. Okay, let me find a big fat marker here. Okay, so the reason that our numbers are shaped the way they are is because originally the number 1 was like this. And it was the number 1 because it had 1 turn in it. This turn right here was the 1 turn in it. Okay? So the number 2 had 2 turns. The number 3, 1, 2, 3 turns. The number 4,
I can't see number 4.
the number 4 has 4 turns. They're all right there. The
I mean,
number 5,
that makes sense.
the number 5 was 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns, 5 turns.
And the number 6 has 6 turns. 6 turns.
So I'll
Like
skip ahead.
The number. Well,
Go ahead.
the number 6 that we see now is more circular, right? But hold on. You would still you would still see the 6 as a 9 when using, say, if you have. So wait a minute, hold on.
9.
Oh, the
It has
9.
9.
So the
It has
9.
9 turns.
Oh, there's the extra piece at the end there.
Yep.
So what
So
about
originally
8?
you couldn't. There's no way to mistake a 6 for a 9.
So I guess
originally.
at 8 is the same.
Six.
And what about number 8?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8. 8. It has 8 turns. If this is 2 turns here and here. Those are each 2 turns. Yep. So that's why those numbers are those shapes. Or at least originally they were. We made shorthand out of it, and that kind of messes it up. Yeah. So like the Greek numerals, Greek. Yeah, Greek numerals. Is it Greek? Yeah, it's Greek. Numerals taught math. Ours used to too. They taught basic math originally, but
Right,
now
but
we've
the
abandoned
concept, the concept is still applies to other things as well, right? Because somebody could look at, somebody could look at something, and and still be, and they could both be right.
The 7 had a cross, so that's an intersection, like a 4-way intersection, about halfway up it. So that's 4, 5, 6. Right, 6th turn, and a turn at the bottom of the 7.
By the
And
way,
so
you
it had
still
had 7 turns as well.
you still have the StreamYard link as your name.
What? The StreamYard link is my name.
Yeah.
Oh, haha! How funny is that? Oh.
Like I was wondering why that was a thing on Rage's stream.
That's funny. Oh, thanks for pointing that out. I didn't even notice. Better? Better. Okay. All right. So what do you think of that?
And the radiant flood of waters went. Oh, yeah, sorry, tired.
This refers to the mass of people who are going to be born onto the planet. And it makes it really well defined very soon that it means the whole planet, not a place on the planet. There's words like Pishon, Heshon, Tigris, and Euphrates that for the King James they did not translate. The first one of those is actually scattered increase. In the King James, that came out the name of a river.
The word
but what this saying
here. Sorry, I was reading about the circle.
The note, yeah. Circle, as in like a coin. And just like Carl Sagan said, pale blue dot, meaning a circle. If you're far enough away from this planet, looking at it in outer space, they really do look two dimensional. All the things, all the spheres in the
Right, but what would you call like
yeah.
what would you call us drawing a circle on a piece of paper? Like if you go back to your to your paper, draw a circle. That's
Right.
a that looks like a two-dimensional circle on a 2D
It it
sphere.
does.
The
It does.
plane.
It does look two dimensional. And circles represent real things. There's no such thing as a circle or a disc. There's you cannot make something out of material of any kind and have it infinitely thin or zero thickness. Even ink on paper has thickness. Even printer ink on paper has thickness. So it's actually a really if you have a printer print a dot, it's actually a very very short rod. Because it does have height. That sounded like it messed up your brain, or you don't agree, or
I
something.
mean, kind of. I honestly don't know where to go with that. I just like, oh, okay.
Well, obviously, everything in reality has thickness. Yeah.
I know, I sure do.
Yes, I'm sure you do. Yeah, everything real takes. I mean, these images on my screen, they're not actually two dimensional either. It's just the way I perceive them. They actually have thickness because the material that's highlighted to be a black dot, and maybe 1,000 black dots making up a letter P on this page, right? Each one of those dots is represented in physical reality in the screen itself, and that part of the screen that turned that color has thickness. There's really just no way around it. Okay, so the idea here with this translation, the radiant flood, this represents humans on the earth, which is why it's waters and not H2O. And then the name of the first principal thing, like what is the first purpose of this place? Well, the first purpose of it is that it's a place that is scattered, meaning away from heaven, and a place for increase. Increase of what? Increase of us. And that includes the whole land of the travailing circle. And what kind of travailing circle is it? It's the kind where there is shimmering water and fair weather. That got translated into gold and what was the other word they translated fair weather into? Oh, that was the names of places. Havilah and Hiddekel, I think. They're places in the text if you read it in the King James. And the
Now,
shimmering
do you
water.
take
Sorry, go ahead.
now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, do you do you do you hold to the King James Bible?
I think for me it's an index card so I can find stuff. And I would not recommend using it for anything other than an index card.
Fair enough.
Because it's a translation. I mean, I know that what I'm doing here is a translation too, but I'm translating all the words and I'm leaving 0 of them out, and I'm adding less like conjunctions and stuff like that. So when I do this, it's a little bit chunkier than what you read. It's not as smooth, in the English, but I think it's smooth enough to be understood. And the shimmering water and fair weather of that land is good. It is a pearl divided. That's another pearl divided. That's another name of a river. I think that's let's see, Pishon, Heshon. I think that's Tigris or something. Or maybe Heshon. Pearl divided. And there are pale family building blocks. This idea, pale family building blocks, in the King James came out onyx. They wrote this idea as onyx. I'm not really sure how. And the name of the second principal thing is bursting forth to be drawn up. Well, that sounds like a familiar theme. That we're here multiplying and filling the earth, and we're going to be drawn up later. And that same principle, the second principle, is the same as that encompasses the whole land of those in darkness. So not the land of Cush, like a place of black. They translated that as black-skinned people, but it's actually the idea of being dark of mind. That kind of darkness, not like there's no sunlight or people have a real good tan and a lot of, what is it, melanin? Have a lot of melanin. That's the wrong. It's talking about darkness of mind, not darkness of skin. And the name of the third principal thing is rapid ancient. Whoa, don't know how I hit those two buttons by the same time. Rapid ancients went eastward. You remember that the garden was planted eastward from their location, and then they go eastward to get there, and they took a successful step. That means, they do what's necessary, and they can do it, and they do it well, and they don't have any problems. And the fourth principal thing about it is that it breaks forth in fruitfulness. What's your thoughts, man?
I don't know, Richard. It's fascinating. I just don't really have anything.
Okay. Well, when you have something, including a topic change, let me know. So here's the original words. I included them in this note. The European descent social mind wants these. That should be wants. Hold on a second. Wants these ideas compiled by category, so I did that. Category 1, ideas of location. Scattered increase, travailing circle, pearl divided. Also, category 2, ideas of angelic future acts. Bursting forth to draw up. Rapid ancients went eastward and took a successful step. Category 3, ideas of what is there. Shimmering water, fair weather, pale building blocks. By the way, the kind of block that they use here for the rock, the building block, is interestingly enough onyx. And if you're familiar with onyx, it comes in one extreme dark black, and in the far extreme pink, and everything in between. What an interesting rock that it goes from black all the way through pink. Wonder why they meant that, why they used that rock. Because it represents our skin tones. You're like what is that? Rose. Like a light rose colored onyx stone. Or what's the name of that one? Sardonyx. The idea of what is there, I did all that. Okay. Thoughts, comments, Richard, you're stupids, whatever. Anything?
I'm just listening to you talk, man.
Okay, I'll keep doing it till you stop me. And the Jehovah angels took mankind and put him into the Garden of Eden to praise Jehovah and to keep the garden. Well, people do different stuff. That's cool. And the Jehovah angels declared of mankind, saying, of every tree of the garden thou may eat freely. But of the affixed tree, interesting that it's the idea of being fixed and like unbreachable, like you can't cut down this tree. Of knowledge of good and evil, you will not eat of it. That is, you're not capable of eating it. For in the day that you do eat of it, you will surely die the death. And no, I didn't write it twice where it's not twice before. It is twice right there. They just leave it out of the translation. What is this? Die the death is obviously some kind of phrase. And phrases like this often have a deeper meaning. And I think it becomes clear over time, but we're not going to have time for it today to read that much of it. To say die the death doesn't mean physical death, but like die the death of your old belief systems. So it's the idea of like repentance, and the new man is born and the old man is dead, and circumcision of the heart, and those kinds of ideas. So die the death is talking about a death of an old spirit of a person, not death of their flesh. And they were both spiritually naked, the men and the women. They were not ashamed. Isn't that interesting? If you're ignorant of something, how could you possibly be ashamed of it, right?
True.
Now, the Snake Nebula
And I
was more.
guess,
So,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
I guess you could be shamed of being ignorant.
I guess you could be. Peace and respect. Crypta, welcome.
Peace and respect.
Thank you so much.
Hello,
Any
beautiful.
thoughts so far? She is horribly cute, isn't
Um,
she?
I had such a long week at work. This is my Thursday, and I'll get caught up.
Okay. Well, know that you are welcome, and feel
Yes.
free to just like scream stop or whatever you do. Just do what
Stop!
comes natural.
No, you're
okay?
torturing us, Richard. Stop!
Wait, I'm already stopped.
Well, you told us to say stop.
Well, I didn't mean you had to do it right then. I mean, it's
No,
fine.
no. This is a good translation. Like this is.
I find this next part really interesting. Now, the Snake Nebula was more subtle than any sign of the zodiac, which Jehovah angels had established. And space spoke to women, saying something like, "Hey, hath God said, you will not be nourished of any established fact of the garden?" Which is a better translation than the King James by a lot. And the women said, to or about this. I should really write about right there, not to. Although it's the same. To and about is the same idea, but about works better. About the Snake Nebula, we may be nourished of all the established facts of the garden.
Shit.
But except for the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden, and angels have said, and yes, that word in the King James it reads God has said. It's actually Elohim have said, which does not mean God. Have said, you will not be nourished by it, neither will you even touch it, or yourself will die. Interesting stuff. And in the idea of repentance, if you learn the difference between good and evil, your old dumb ideas wouldn't stand because you learned stuff. And the Snake Nebula, I know that's anthropomorphized, but it's okay, I think, said to the women, ye shall not surely die. Awesome. For investigating your actual environment, that's not going to kill you. And it doesn't. But it makes an argument. Angels do know that in that day, talking about our discovery of space, in that day, you are nourished from the facts of good and evil. Your eyes will be opened, and you will be as gods, knowing good and evil. That's pretty cool. And then women saw that the tree was good for nourishment, and it's pleasant to the eyes. Boy, isn't space pretty? And a tree to be desired to make one wise. And she took of the fruit of it, and was nourished, and motivated also men with her, and he was nourished. You know, there's a movie that recently came out, how much women have played a role in space exploration. In fact, some roles we definitely could not have done it without them. And it's my contention that men are actually lazy, and they will do the minimum of things if it weren't for women, in fact.
Wow. No.
Preaching to the choir there. Preaching to
Tell
the
me it ain't
choir.
true. Dude, we wouldn't brush our teeth.
No. If it wasn't for the pussy, you wouldn't do anything.
I know. We wouldn't bathe. If there was no sex to be had, oh, no, just forget it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, how do you explain gay men then?
I said no sex to be had. I mean, on average, men are motivated by women. That doesn't mean there's no exceptions.
But what about asexuals? Oh wait, those are the exceptions, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know what motivates them. Maybe money, maybe
Yeah,
friendship. I don't know.
money, friendship,
But I think to be asexual is an extreme outlier. Well, how many?
rolling around in furry costumes. Okay,
That's a little bit of an outlier as well.
I'm
I mean,
not
I'm
you
mad.
okay with
might.
it,
You
but
might.
yeah.
Yep.
And this part right here actually plays really well into the curse of Eve, which it's a presentism fallacy. It's a false idea and a problem with language that
Yeah,
the
it is.
European mind today thinks of the word curse as something other than promise. And really, for these translations, it should, for our language, it should read promise, not curse.
That's an interesting take on it.
Well, I can show you a part in the text where there's the story of these two landowners, and they have an adjoining property line,
I
and they
remember
get
that story. Yeah.
and they get into a fight with each other, right? And they start cursing each other in the name of their god, and they both use the same name. And they go, "Wait a minute, we have the same god?" They're like, "Yes, you have the same god as me." So this is amazing. I had no idea. Why have we been fighting? So they built an altar on the property line and cursed each other to
Yeah.
get together once a year and praise God. It reads cursed.
I know that story. Thank you so much. Like, I remember that story.
So it's just a verbal contract, a promise. That's all the word curse means. It's not. It doesn't have a negative or a positive connotation. It depends on the context. And because of all this, the spiritual eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. This is so true of man growing up on this planet. Like there was a pretty good number of a percentage of people in the ancient Near East that thought we lived in a snow globe. Like they
Yeah.
really believed
No, they
that.
still do. They still do.
Well, there's some that they're
I'm
getting more
making a
fringe.
point. Like, we might as well be like all in igloos up here.
I know it's one giant igloo that
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
I work all night and I sleep all day.
Okay, it's not like Mighty Python was too far off. That is a true song. It should
I,
be.
I'm actually a big fan of Monty Python, but anyway,
They weren't lying.
they weren't. You're a little bit too manly. Methinks you object too much. That's what they're really saying.
And
and,
yes, PC is like that. If you listen to the lyrics, that
Oh,
is
yeah.
PC. Yes.
That's totally what's going on there. You're right.
Washington
No,
State a little bit in the north.
Yep.
Parts of Oregon.
And because of their discoveries of what they could be nourished from mentally, in knowledge nourished, but they had sewed split-leafed and spiny-backed fig leaves together and had made themselves poor aprons. So it's the idea of uncomfortable clothing that doesn't really work. That is, that we have misconceptions, which is fine. We know this in science, and science is always improving. But we have like some pretty bad misconceptions when all this stuff goes on. And then, shockingly, they heard the audible voice of Jehovah angels walking in the garden at the end of the 6th day. So that's like involving atmosphere for something to be audible. And men and women, all of them, hid themselves from the presence of the Jehovah angels among the trees of the garden. Later, elsewise, under in caves and caverns, it goes on and on about us hiding ourselves when these beings show up. Let's see, including Luke 23:30, Hebrews 11:38, Revelation 6:15 and 16. And the Jehovah angels called to mankind and said, "Where are you?" It's like, we're here. We know you're there. You can come on out now. And mankind said, generally speaking, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was ignorant, and I hid myself. Yeah, you get an alien invasion, the scale at which this is describing, I think this is what we will really do. No joke at all. And angels said, who told you that you were naked? And have you now eaten of the tree that I declared you could not eat of under your own accord? Of course, this is rhetorical. They're talking to each other. And they can understand the heavenly spaceships. MathPig says I have to include that word. The heavenly spaceships onto the earth and inside the atmosphere, communicating with us through things you can sense with your ears. You can see why I say this is rhetorical. And mankind, all of them, said, women who you gave to be with me motivated me to be nourished of knowledge, and I was nourished. Still blaming women, ignoramuses. And the Jehovah angels said to the woman, or women, what is this that you have done? And women said, the Snake Nebula, which is a real thing, I'll show it to you. And all of space tempted me, and I did become nourished of knowledge. Actually, it kind of tears me up. You guys rock. And the Jehovah angels had described the Snake Nebula in a book, which you are reading right now. Because you have done this, you are made a curse or promise above all. Oh, this is talking to the Snake Nebula itself. You are made a curse above all the Taurus constellation and above all of the zodiac. On your belly you will crawl, and dust is in your mouth all of the days of your life. And I have put great enmity, meaning physical or emotional distance, between you and the women, and between your seeds and her seed will bruise your head, and you will bruise it or his heel. I want to show you guys this. This is, let's see, how can I do this? Do I have Snake Nebula saved? Yes, I do, somewhere.
Let's see.
Maybe I don't have it saved anywhere.
Anyways, Richard, I'm gonna go to sleep. Thanks for having me on.
Sleep well, brother.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye. I'm just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Snake Nebula. This thing is so cool. There you go. Easy enough to find. Let me find a good picture of it. I like this multicolored one, not so much the black and white one. Come on. Let's get an actual good size photo here. Alright. You still there? Anybody here with me? Crypta, you here? I want to show you this. I want to show you what women helped discover. Okay, I'll talk to everybody else. Check this out. It has an open mouth. Oh, look, I can make the picture bigger. Cool beans. All right. So they call this the Snake Nebula. I didn't get to name this. This is what the scientists called it, Snake Nebula. Check this out. This area right here. How much lag is there? I want to make sure that you guys can see. Can you guys see this? My cursor. There's a delay. Okay, so it's got that big fat jaw. Look, right there's the eyeball. There's the nose. Its mouth is open. And since these things are all made of dust, it has dust in its mouth. If you look, there's a shadow right here, a darkened area. It's a backward facing ear. And then you've got the other backward facing ear lightened on the back side of that. Then you got this neck and the big bulbous belly. Traditional dragon snake idea. And look right here, a reverse spade tail. Look at that. Isn't that about the sweetest serpent you're ever going to find in outer space? And yeah, it takes a little pareidolia to see it. But if the scientists call it the Snake Nebula, I'm saying it doesn't take that much pareidolia. Look, you can see its open mouth right there. You can see the eyeball right there. Right? Backward facing ears. I mean, it's all there. Anyway, I think pretty cool.
I think it's cool.
That is, I mean, to some
It
extent,
is, like,
it's way too coincidental. You want to guess where it's located? Can you guess from the text where this thing is actually located? I can show you.
Okay. Because
in the first of all, it's really far away. We didn't find this till Hubble. Okay, it's that
we've
far
been
away.
finding so many more, and it's so exciting to see how far we're coming. Like we've grown up with 5 planets. Now there's 70.
Yep.
That's exciting. That's like we grew up in this little like cocoon of there's only so much out there. And now we have like 70 planets confirmable.
Yep.
There's more. They're just like, it takes so long with the data to come through.
Yeah.
But they're working on it, and it's so exciting. Like,
okay, check this out right here. You know the Earth is at 23.5 degrees.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know that the zodiac is slightly off from that.
Yeah.
Right? This is 23 and 38 feet. So it's above the plane of the zodiac. It's in the Taurus constellation or above the bull.
Okay.
So it's literally cursed above all the beasts of the field and cursed above the cattle.
So it kind of like parallel to, it's like It's like a map. It's not astrology, it's a map.
Yeah, it's an actual object in real.
To put it in layman's terms, like.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me get this. Let's see. Where can I go to? How can I do this? Crap! It won't go back to where I was, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Sorry, it's the only. You believe that? That's the only album I ever.
Long week at work, like well, half of it was really long, and half of it was like so stupid. Like today, I was almost falling asleep. Like,
you mean it was slow, where the rest of the week was super busy?
Well, I was training a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know how that goes. It's like, wow.
How old are these kids? Like 18, 20?
One was 17. That was fun.
Okay.
I didn't even say anything. I walk in the doors and they're like, you have to be nice.
You have to be nice.
What did I... Oh, you're training someone new. They're like, before I even like put down my jacket, they were like, no, be nice. He's a puppy.
I don't know. Today's kids, I'm not sure I could have the patience to train someone who's like 17.
This kid's pretty solid. Like for, he's way more mature than some of my coworkers.
Is this person training for like a job, like a career job, or
or just experience in the workforce?
Right on.
It's hard, for kids to get jobs because they're young.
True story. In the United States, generally, parents just let their kid leech off them for way too long, if they can afford it.
I agree. It happens way too much in Canada. Like,
no, I wasn't on any psych. I have to make that same disclaimer. I don't blame you for writing that. People go, were you high? I'm like, no, I wasn't high. And will you please stop asking me that? Okay. Kim B, how about if you hit the link and come in and tell us what you're talking about? Because 200 spaces at a time, you're going to be there forever trying to tell me what you're talking about. By the way, dragons and serpents, to the east, what we call in this world the Eastern
special.
traditions, are representative of
They're
beings.
neutral.
Well, yeah, they're neutral in some sense of evil and good, but they also like live forever, having all knowledge, descend from the sky, these kinds of ideas. So actually, I see a way to understand their culture that they're not arguing with anything, anywhere. Actually,
I like that.
yeah, like for instance, if I do this, and then I get my human out of the way. Hold on a second. Okay. All you have here is a weird arrangement of the red dragon.
Mm.
The head is always the big spherical part of the dragon. Watch any parade. And then you've got medium-sized segments, several of those in a row, and then a whole bunch of little ones.
Mm.
So this is just a weird arrangement of the red dragon in the sky who lives forever and has all knowledge. That's all this is. Several
I
other
like it.
religions.
And
Yeah.
when I see it come up, it makes me smile. So.
Oh wait, I'm still center stage. I didn't mean for that to be like that still.
No worries.
Okay. I went to reading the side chat. I just, Kim B wrote, I just tried joining a stream view for the first time, and I cannot figure out how to get rid of the echo. Simple. You shut off YouTube.
Yeah, you got to mute your YouTube channel. You can
You
keep
can
it
mute it, right?
on so you can follow the chat, but you got to mute. Like, I'm looking at my laptop. It's like the little button on the bottom of the screen. You hit the little sound thing,
Yep.
and then you get rid of the echo.
Yep. If you
If
put
it's
your,
anything else, we can troubleshoot when you try and come on again.
it's probably not going to be anything else. If you got a good, clean, sharp echo, it's because you have YouTube playing. Okay, so you can put your cursor on the YouTube video, right? And you can pause it, or if you want to watch it, but you can't listen to it at the same time, because then you have two sources of audio.
Yeah, if you pause it, you can still have the chat going.
That's true. And you could go to the lower left-hand corner of the YouTube video, and you'll see the red line pop up, which is the stream going. And if you go just below that, you're going to see a speaker button. You hit that speaker button, it'll mute the YouTube video. Yes, Kim B, please try again.
Yeah.
Because
try
I've had things happen to me and several people I have met in the last decade where they had like an acid trip kind of thing happen to them, and they weren't on acid, and it told them true things.
Oh, I know that feeling. Although I also did a lot of peyote. Like tons. Like it's
Okay, Kim, your connection is slow. I'm going to bring you in, and I'm going to give you the floor, and I know you were really delayed. So we're going to be really patient with you when you start talking. The floor is yours.
Okay. It was a while back. I actually started to take psychedelics because I felt like the rocks were trying to tell me something. And I don't know how to explain it. I wasn't on anything. I took it after I had this experience with the dragons, and I even had to look up dragons because what I was being shown, a lot of them look like cartoon characters as we see them. But I was looking through vacation pictures of my mother. She was taking pictures of petroglyphs, right? And right underneath the petroglyph is this dragon. I could see it. I outlined it. And then off to the right side on a bigger rock it looked like a mother dragon. And I can see this like flame plasma, something coming out of the, what I thing is the mother's mouth, and the little one over here is looking at her, and it looks like it has fire or something coming out. So they've showed me, and it's not the only one I have. She also took so she petroglyphs, and next to a
Ah,
lot of
I
the
know
petroglyphs
petroglyphs.
are things that are like frozen in the rocks, like something cataclysmic happened and they're in there. And if you look by the petroglyphs, you could usually find something. I'm thinking maybe they're trying to point at, look at this thing in the rock that's frozen there that we can't. A lot of my friends can't see it. The big huge rock that my parents actually
Wow, yeah.
camp on top of, and it's a gigantic Indian headdress and everything. And they said, I was thinking, are those actually petroglyphs? Because if I zoom in on the picture, I put it in the computer, so I zoom in on it, and I can see where the dots are connected to where the petroglyphs are, like a headdress and the decorations that they had on it. This place is right down. It's in the United States by the California, Mexico, and Arizona border. So I want to go. I want to go there and see it for myself. But I mean, you could see the teeth in this giant's head. It's like a profile, and I have it on my computer. That's why I was asking if you have a place I could send you the pictures, because I'm just like, I've hardly anybody. I mean, there are people that can see
You're-
it, especially when I draw on it, but there's hardly anybody. And I just think you guys would be able to see it. Maybe we could go find the place. My
If
parents know where it's at. They have the things, but
if you could drop it in the private chat in the StreamYard,
I
can you
could
do that?
do that with. I'm gonna have to
Are
join
you
on my phone because
technically
that's where the
savvy, or
pictures are.
do you need me to walk you
She's
through it?
yeah, yeah.
No, but I have the pictures on my phone. So can I join this from my phone? Because my computer took it
If
down,
we
so I'm
put
on a
it up to
laptop.
your camera, sure. Is that okay,
Okay, I
Richard?
will.
Sure.
I'll gonna get my phone and I'll be
I'm
back.
sure it's not going to be a poor mom.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
I'll be
if I don't get back
Beethoven.
to you, I'll be in the chat again, or I'll be back here. Okay.
No worries, no worries.
No worries.
Like,
Take your
Okay.
time. Like to
Okay.
yeah,
see it though.
just
Okay, guys.
figure things out, come back, like whatever you need.
Okay, I'll be because ever since then, it's like I can see. I've had 2 strokes. I don't know if it's related, but I can see these. They've showed me where they're at in the rocks. It's crazy. I'll try and get them to you in the private chat on my phone. I'll be back.
All right. See you in a few.
I would say strokes make you more sensitive, but you don't need strokes to see that. And 6 strokes might not make you even see that. Like,
I got to say, I am one of the worst people for exercising any kind of creativity and imagination.
but you're
I mean,
good at drafting.
no. That's putting known things together. That's easy. I could put known things together in
No,
novel
it's
ways.
not. I
But
failed drafting. I got a D in that class. I
I
almost
think
failed
drafting is
you,
super
Vic,
easy.
because I couldn't draft the way you can. And that's what they expect at that level.
You just need good
I
tools
faked
and a
it so
calculator.
far until
All
and
for
then there.
drafting, all you need is the right set of tools and a calculator. Anybody can do drafting.
No, you need to draw straight lines and not make them like
Well,
interpretive.
don't draw them freehand. You just use a straight edge. I never
They
draw
do
anything
that, and
freehand.
then I fill in the edges and color outside the lines.
Well, that might be a problem.
Yes, it
Like
is.
for this, I used a compass. In fact, for the largest circle in the middle, I had to like alter a compass and make it extra wide so I could do this. But I
Yeah,
just stuck a
yeah.
pin. I just stuck a pin through the middle of the material and started making
Well, I
circles.
do that too sometimes. You got to do that with some. I'm just more the, grassroots DIY kind of girl. Get her done and get her dirty.
I respect that, but I have no gift for like drawing a circle. I can't.
You are way better than me.
I use tools. I cheat.
Yeah,
It's not.
but you
It's not
you
talent. Trust me.
understand. You have a gift for symmetry and clarity and balance.
What do you mean? I drew what was in the text. This is
But
zero
that's
creativity. Okay, I did something kind of creative here. I had to imagine what looking up at the jawline of a lion, also an
Yeah.
eagle, a man, and a bull. What that would look like, which you can see. This
Well,
is
that
the
is like the
it's supposed to like looking up under someone's chin, and that one is an
you have
eagle,
like a
and
gift
you can't
for
see the other two.
graphic skills. Like, okay,
You are entirely too kind. You've just had a long week
cool.
though.
Okay, I'm back. I'm trying to figure out
Yay,
how to add a
good.
picture.
Hello, Bach. Okay, so here's how you do it. Um,
I need
let's
a
see.
minute.
On your phone, at the bottom
Mhm.
of the StreamYard, you can see the word present with a little screen. Can you see that if you turn your
Mhm.
phone the right way? There you go. Turn it the other way so you get more room to look.
I have mic, cam, chat, and more. Maybe it's under more. Cam comments. Is it under comments?
It's something like present or share.
Hmm.
Maybe they don't give you the option on the phone. I don't know.
That would not be good. Well, I could send the picture to my laptop to a different
Well, that's
email.
one more step, but I know it'll work.
I think that's what I'll do because my phone, email, and my laptop are different ones. So I'll be back again. I'm going to get this picture to you no matter what. There's two that I have, so I'll be back.
We'll be sitting on the edge of our seats with bells on.
Okay.
Okay. If you aren't there, Crypt, I'm going to go back to reading. The spiritual eyes of them were open, spiny-backed fig leaves, bad clothing, needs to be fixed still, although it was better than what they had, which was total nakedness. Heaven in the sky, people hear heaven make announcements, freaks them out, although the arrival freaked them out too, and they hid themselves. They said, "Why are you hiding?" They said, "Because I was ignorant. I didn't think there was any other life out there in space, and you just freaked me out." We went over the snake nebula. If you want to look that up yourself, it's got the reverse spade tail. It's got reversed ears. It's got an open mouth. It's made out of dust. Its mouth has got dust in it. It's located above in the Taurus constellation. It's cursed above the cattle or Taurus. Men credit women for the discovery. In fact, a lot of NASA has been very dependent on women. Although men are usually standing up front with their thumbs in their armpits. Let's see. Okay. So the final line of it. The seed of Eve will bruise the head of the serpent, and it will bruise his heel. So I read this as the next space we're going to in the universe is on the other side of the Snake Nebula. And indeed it is true that the Snake Nebula is more subtle or harder to discern than any of the beasts of the field or signs of the zodiac. Due to the great enmity, literal distance, between us and it, in fact, we didn't find it until Hubble looked out that way and took a pretty long exposure picture. And without women prodding men forward toward recent technology, we could not have discovered it. Showing that the word is preserved and there is hidden manna. That is, more things to be discovered still. The last sentence in that is predictive in that in order of time, that we will bruise its head, and we will have to pass through it in order to bruise its head, and it bruise our heel. It will have to be behind us for that. Which indicates that when we leave this earth in heaven, we will be piercing the Snake Nebula. And sorry, just have to wait and see on that one. To the women. You ladies out there. Oh, you ladies. Oh, you ladies. The angels say to you in that time, I will greatly multiply your sorrow in your pregnancies. Not that it'll hurt more than normal, it'll just be a lot more occurrences of it. Because, I mean, I've not experienced birthing a child, but I hear it's actually rather hard to do and uncomfortable. I was there for my stepdaughter's birth of her first child. She was in labor for 40 hours straight, like hard labor for 40 hours. It was crazy. In sorrow you will bring forth children, yet, so like despite that fact, your desire will be for your husband, and he will be a governor to you, not rule over you. The word governor there is like Mary Poppins, because this is late Middle English, you know. Mary Poppins is a governess to the children in the movie. It doesn't mean she beats them or treats them badly, but she takes care of them. That's what governor means.
That's fair. That's fair.
It means to take care of. And I don't know, Crypta, have you had any kids?
No.
Okay. Well, I hear, and you've probably heard from your girlfriends, that late stage pregnancy, you want someone to spoil you.
I wouldn't know, Richard.
Oh, that's sad. Maybe next time.
Yeah, another lifetime.
Well, that's what we're going to have, from what I can understand. A brand new start, all of us.
You kidding me? You think I want to break the plumbing?
You want to what? Break the plumbing. I don't think it breaks the plumbing.
Yes, it does, dude.
I mean, there is the
Have you seen how
episiotomy, I guess.
I know
but
you've seen how babies are born, but there's
I watched one getting born, yeah. It was a terrible mess.
Yeah. It's so. I'm not in a big rush, eh? Maybe like
Okay.
3 lifetimes.
I can
Just
respect
saying.
that. Okay. I think that's totally up to you. It's fine. So that's what the word governor here means. It means caregiver. It doesn't mean you beat them up or something crazy. I don't know what those fake A personality alpha males that think this is about like you're supposed to force women to conform. This is talking about pregnancies and how people need help when they're pregnant. Let's see. Should I read all this? Angels will be
That's
informing women
sweet.
of this.
That's
And what's that?
actually sweet. That's actually
Yeah, that's
sweet.
man's
Yeah.
first job in heaven. His first job is to, yeah. When women are having lots of babies to restore us all to the heavens from the dead from the earth. When they're having all these babies, the men are supposed to be like there with them helping out, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah. I totally like when you explain scripture like that, it brings a sweetness to it because I think you understand there's been so much bitterness like with the Christians and the atheists and the Muslims and the Jews and everyone in between, and it just when you put it down to that, like to the basic level, we are just trying to give the next generation the best chance possible, regardless.
Yeah, that's what it's talking about.
Yeah, that's so sweet, actually.
I want to show you this. I want to show you I'm not kidding. The word govern, govern, right? In the King James, what is it? Rule. It reads rule. Hold on.
No,
Rule.
this is interesting. Just from that little clip I got.
Rule over her. That's how it reads in the King James.
Okay,
They use
yeah,
the word they used.
but that's not the definition under some of the other ones.
Now here it is right here. And he shall rule over you, right? There it is.
Yeah.
Now watch this. He shall rule over you. I go to the actual words. Sorrow, bring forth, desire, thy husband, he shall rule. Masal. What does it mean? To have dominion in the sense of governor.
Yeah, and when you
to
look at
to
the
bear
word
up,
of governor,
to bear up, to cause to have, right? That's these are supportive words.
yeah.
Yeah. Now it includes the kind of governor that does rule, but that's out of context here. It's more like caregiver.
Well, it should be a partnership in a relationship.
I
And
believe
I
you are
think
right,
you
man.
understand that. Like we're old enough, we've all been through it, you know. It should be like we're all trying to come together as family to build a home, not just we're here and it's whatever we can get.
Right. So I like to translate it as governor instead of rule because I think that's more
Yeah, yeah.
accurate.
I think that is a more accurate term. I actually with the way the language is set up, governor is it is like the man is supposed to be like I take care of my kingdom,
Right.
not like I I'm a dictator. I don't know. I
So sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
So this is why the texts say that people who die going into heaven have to be born again, because they literally have to be born again. It's not a phrase. It's not an expression.
Hmm.
And someone, Pat Lowinger, familiarized me with the formation of eggs and how many years of fertility the average human being is going to have, and how it takes like 1,000 tries to make one good egg, and that results in like 300,000 viable ovum,
Oh
which
God. I
300,000, which if
I
if
no
120 of
no
the
no no I'm just saying, Richard, my
yeah,
family genetics go a different way where it I get a little more time than a lot of girls. I just
really.
don't want it. Yeah.
Most people wouldn't want it.
Okay.
But my point is that if each healthy young woman has 300,000 eggs, of which she gets to realize 300 of them, or 1 in 1,000, that's
I
for every.
don't know. I could look at a man and like get knocked up. Like it's if not for medical science, like
Right.
I could have had like 20 kids since I was 10 to oh god, I still got another like 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's
My
what you do,
life.
You
Kim.
guys,
Here's what you
I
do.
got my.
You go,
Okay.
yeah, go to the bottom of the StreamYard screen and
Okay.
find the word present.
Okay.
Hit that once, and then load that'll
Okay.
that'll open it up, and it'll say, let me see if I can do it so I can see as well. So you've got video file, extra camera, or slides, or tab. You wanna click whatever you put the picture under, whichever of those
Okay.
categories.
It was in my email, so I just downloaded it
Okay.
to.
So it's on your
Where did I
desktop. Is
download
that where
it?
it is, or did you put it in pictures, or
It's in my downloads received.
okay? So let me stop
So
this
now
screen so I can walk through it with you. So
Share video file. If you click
that's
on
not going to be video file doesn't include pictures, does it? No.
oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't include pictures. So you want to hit present and then share screen,
Mine
right?
does.
And then you've got the option of a Chrome tab or a window or an entire screen. You want to hit entire screen, right? And then open
Okay,
up the
sharing.
picture with some picture viewing thing on your entire screen, and we'll see it.
Okay. Let's see. Proceed. Screenshot.
So probably the easiest way to do that in order is open up the picture first so it's taking up the full screen of your computer. And then minimize that. Go to StreamYard and present. Present screen, present entire screen. And then switch to the other screen at the bottom of your total window. That's probably the easiest way.
I'm so sorry, you guys. Let's see.
It's okay.
Proceed.
Oh, God,
Peace and respect.
Don't even worry. Don't even worry. I've had
Yeah, no
so many
worries at all.
disasters even on my own channel. Like one night I passed out. I like had a nap. Like I was like Big Zebra.
Good for you.
And I just like, and people are like, you were sleeping. And I was like, yeah, I fell asleep. It was all warm and summer and like my deck was awesome. And people were like, you got really quiet. You fell asleep. And I was like, no. Oh, yeah, I did. It was a good day.
I'm still trying to figure this out. Search right now. Translate.
Don't worry about it. Take your time. Don't rush. It's not like we're doing anything else. Like, you figure it out so you know it before.
Oh my goodness.
I just realized that I never did actually show you guys the Snake Nebula thing. So now I'm going to show it to you and highlight it and point it out to you. Okay, here it is. This is on Wikipedia, which, I mean, it's a picture from NASA. It doesn't get better or worse than this. Okay, so here you got, let's see if I can make it bigger. Here you've got, you can see right there the open mouth and the heavy, like, Chinese dragon jaw there. Can you see that, Crypta?
Yeah.
And then the eyeball right there. You see that
Yeah.
that star that's the eyeball? Can you see these shadows that are the reverse spade ears? Can you see those?
Yeah.
Or the reversed ears? And then you got the long neck and you get the bulgy fat body, right? And do you see the reverse spade tail right there?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It's beautiful though.
It is.
Like, we have, like, I look at that and it's like looking at a city and like seeing, like, you're pulling up, when you're coming into a big city on a dark highway and you see all of this. It's like,
That's pretty cool.
there's so much
Definitely
civilization.
looks like
out
that.
there.
Or standing on a cliff looking out on down on a city.
Oh man.
Sammy, has everybody thought you were cute your whole life? Because this is getting kind of annoying.
I was actually quite a chubby little kid, so
Were you? Well, I'm glad you
yeah.
bloomed well. I'm glad you bloomed well, man.
Thanks.
That's great.
thank you. And because I don't know how to react because I've never had it. So now when people say stuff, I just like turn the camera off and hide.
Well, that's the second time tonight I've been in a stream with you and someone felt compelled, which is beautiful. I think it's amazing and wonderful and appropriate and natural that we find each other attractive. I mean, how could we be here without that?
I just think you're like hot, but you're also from down south. So I'm going to be annoyed with you in a Commonwealth way.
You know he's upside down
That's
right
fine.
now. He's not
That's
normal.
fine,
He's
yes, it will be fine. That's what
He's a-
rugby is for.
he's actually an upside down man.
Love
Yeah,
you, man.
that's it. take it out on the rugby field.
Damn straight I will.
So are we looking at a serpent? I'm going to
Yeah,
guess that's a snake.
it's called the Snake Nebula. Here, I'll bring it
And
full screen.
what about the things underneath? Or are they no part of it?
They're not mentioned in the story. Okay, so you can see my cursor here, Sammy.
No, it doesn't appear to be on the screen.
Okay, so the head is to the right, and if you look at the head,
Yeah.
look, you can locate an eyeball. It's a star, actually, or whatever, but it looks like where the eyeball belongs. You can see that.
Okay. Yes. The lighter one, because there's then a brighter one as well.
Yeah, the one that's not quite so bright.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then above that and like directly north of that in this photo, can you see the
Yeah.
two dark spots that are the reversed ears?
Two dark spots reversed. Okay. Yes.
Okay, now you got the belly, you got the body and the crooked belly and stuff.
Oh.
And then look over to the left-hand side, you can see an actual huge reverse spade at the end of its tail.
Yeah. I can
Like,
see
you don't
that.
get much more serpent than that.
It's pretty dragonish. Yeah, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's real dragon serpenty. Now I want to show you guys something else. This freaks me out. If you search Euphrates River Basin floodplain, 110 feet, and you know what picture to look for.
Okay, can you guys
It's,
see that or hear me?
We
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
We hear
Can you see my screen?
No.
You
We're
can't
gonna
see it?
we're gonna see it in
sharing
just
your screen.
we're gonna see it in just a little while, but I want to show you this first.
I know the Euphrates, so I'm waiting for this one.
Okay, you guys can see my Euphrates Turkey area here. You can see this. You can see it. You can't see it. Which is it? You can't see it.
No, it's
Why is
still
that? Hold on.
we're still on the snake.
It hasn't changed.
Okay. Let me copy and paste on over there at the Snake Nebula.
Wait, now I can see your mouse.
Okay, check
Why
it
couldn't
out.
I see it before?
Now this is Euphrates River Basin, right? So you got the Tigris and the Euphrates, and when the Euphrates is in flood at 110 feet, can you see this reverse? Now this time the neck in blue and tan here at the top, and you can see the open mouth and the heavy jaw, and you can even see a tongue sticking out, and you can see where the eyeball is, the reversed ears.
Yes.
You want to hear the crazy
Yes.
part? The whole snake
Hang
is
on,
there.
hang on. What am I looking at?
That's what they showed me.
I can't
Honestly,
see it.
honestly, Richard, with what the stuff with the dams and that area is going on, you don't need a dragon. You just got people doing controlling water.
Okay, Kim, we got you. All right.
Okay, let
And
me.
you're sharing screen, but you're sharing StreamYard. So go up to the top,
Yeah. Can you see it now?
and you can reduce this whole window, or if you need to. Okay, here we go.
I don't know if you can see my cursor, but I outlined it. Above it
I
are
can
the
see your
petroglyphs.
cursor.
Can you see that right here's the ear?
Whoa, that's the same
That's
thing.
pretty
There's
cool.
the arm. And this is what they showed me. That's why I don't even know what to call my experience. I don't know if it's channeling or visions is appropriate, but they also showed me how the world was created and how it's going. Well, there's like everything, not everything, but the majority of things, like there's trolls, there's all kinds of things in caves, like this, just like this, and by petroglyphs. There's, I think it's Dinosaur Monument. I've got that one. I'll have to.
Those are
Sorry, I'm so slow.
amazing petroglyphs. It's actually not.
I'll find what is
Holy
next to the
shit,
picture.
man. Thank you.
So let me see if I can find it. I'll be back with you guys with the other one. But this is the one. It was my parents' vacation, and there another picture that I don't know what I did with is the larger one I was telling you about. You could see right here, like there's like flames right there, or something coming out. The other one had more like it went down like and out. It was a larger type thing. This was more like a flame. The other thing
I'm
was more
sorry,
like,
I'm getting chills. I
know.
need a minute. This is amazing.
but let me. I'll get back to you guys. I'm gonna
Can
show
people
you
get
the.
screenshots of this?
I don't even remember. I'm so nervous I don't remember how I got this to come up. I'm gonna try and send some more to my email and do this again so you could see the other things, hopefully, that I'm talking about. I'll be right back.
I would appreciate it. Like, this is, I have friends in the area and we've been working on blogs, and it's not what you see in the foreground, it's what you see in the background on the wall. And this isn't graffiti. This is, well, it's ancient graffiti. It's beautiful.
Those are they were on a vacation, and I think they were taking a tour of the petroglyphs. This one's not by the other ones that I have.
Yeah, but I mean the petroglyphs. The petroglyphs are like ancient graffiti.
Pretty much. I think they're like trying to get you to look at what's below it.
Yeah, Richard, are you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it just me, or is that large, almost outlined section like almost reverse of what you were just showing us in the start? It even has the tail.
You just wait. Hold on, I'm
But
not done showing you.
I couldn't see what you were showing us in that map, though. I'm
Okay,
just
can you see
loading
that?
up my big computer, so I'm gonna. Yes. Oh, okay. Now I see what you're saying. Now I see. The back turned is. But where's the tail gone?
Well, if the map,
It's
if I
kind
found
of
the right
there.
map, the whole body is there. It's not missing anything. The whole body is there. Holy Spirit, you're going to have to show me some camera, bro. There you are in the pitch black and can't see you. It must be you.
Yeah, I'm driving, dude.
All right, brother.
That petroglyph. There's a little gray alien that's standing right there in the petroglyph. I can see him. Do you see the little gray right there? See the head, the two eyes, like right in the middle.
Somebody talk to this guy. I have no imagination.
Oh, I do. Yep, I got him. A big-headed one. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I telepathically spoke to 3 of those dudes.
Wow. So, Richard.
Yeah.
The in the head of this snake, you'll see a round dark circle.
Are
Can
you
you
talking
see
about
that?
the petroglyph or the picture I had up?
No, the petroglyph.
The petroglyph, okay.
Yeah.
Where am I supposed to be looking?
Do you see the little gray?
In what you would call the head of the snake, there's a round circle. I guess it would be its eyeball. That dark round circle. You see that?
I see a dark roundish circle, yeah.
And to the right of that is a less round but dark almost circle.
I see that, okay.
Zoom out, that's 2 eyeballs. There's a big head around them and then a little body. Looks like a little funny alien.
It is an alien. It's a little gray.
Okay, all I can see is a cow. Sorry.
Yeah,
Actually, I can see how you see a cow there too. Wow, that's a really good cow.
Yeah, it's a really good
But the
cow, but it's all I
cow's
can get.
the cow's head is the whole alien. So the cow's eyes is its eyes. Wow, I can see what everyone can see.
Yeah, you're really good at this. I suck. Kim, I don't think you. Do you really
Yes.
want to? Okay, you're sharing something else. Okay.
I just saw
Go
a
ahead.
fallen a meteorite.
So till you figure that out, Kim,
Oh,
I'm gonna go back to
nice.
this.
Okay.
Okay, this Euphrates or the Tigris and Euphrates River Basin at 110 feet floodplain, and this is different levels of water when it's flooded. That's what you're seeing in the gray into the dark blue. Those are different levels. So when it's at the gray stage, you can't see the eyeball. And you can only see part of the tongue in the medium blue-gray stage. And in the blue stage, you can't see any of that. But that whole Snake Nebula thing that I showed you is traced out. Now look right there, the tan area, that's all of Iraq. That's the whole of Iraq. If it gives you an idea how big this relief carving in the Euphrates River Basin is.
I know what you're talking about, and it.
Like the whole Snake Nebula carved
Yeah.
in the Euphrates River Basin is bigger than Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're
Okay.
talking
I
about.
got a picture.
No, okay, can I just say something that freaks me out because I studied art history. I didn't study theology in university. But when now studying theology, all this like clicks into places, and I'm like, oh, this is bad, isn't it? Like, this is something bigger than us, right?
I think there's actually a
I'm
lot of
not.
things bigger than us. You had the picture you were sharing. What happened, Kim?
I'm trying to find another one. There we go. Okay, I'm not sure if you could see it
Okay.
in this one, but I highlighted what I saw. Not that one. Come on.
I just saw a cool meteorite just
Can you
like
see
burning
it?
up in the sky. It was so cool.
Can you see it? And right here is like a. I don't know if I can make it bigger. Where's my zoom? Probably not. Right here is like a little alien face, but he has a hat. He's got horns or something. Come on. It's like. Can you
Okay, here's
see
how you
his-
change that. If you want to change the size of that significantly, hit your
Uh-huh.
control button on your keyboard and then your plus, like the math problem symbol plus in the upper right hand corner. Hit plus plus plus. Try that a few times. If it gets too big and shrinks again, hit minus.
So control.
So control plus.
And I'm looking for the plus key, guys.
Upper right. It's
There it
it's on
is.
the upper row,
There we
all the
go.
way at the. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, now recenter it.
Can I just drag it?
Probably just drag it.
Nope, that's not it. Down here.
Oh, you got bars. There you go.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Can you see them a little better now? And then the
It's
little
bigger.
alien faces right there. It's right there. I don't know if I go to the other one. That one. It was control plus. Control.
Now it looks like humans have carved in the face of that rock somewhat,
Well-
or am I wrong?
Oh yeah,
Well, and people
guys,
used to live in those little holes. Like all those dark spots, people would live in.
Those are
can you see
homes?
the
Like a
face?
human could fit in those holes?
This
Yeah.
is, I think it's called Dinosaur Monument in some valley. Can you see the thing I'm talking about? Though I don't even know what to call it. His teeth are right here. Let me go with the other one where I have it highlighted. His teeth are right there. He's got a hat on with a strap right there, and then he's got the green thing is what his clothes are, and then next to him are these two creature-looking things. And I think the shield was something that was put there by the Native Americans, or it could be a shield that was like put into the rocks. I don't know how to explain it because I don't really have words for it. So, but can you see the little guy's face right there? This, if you can see my cursor right here, he's got his mouth there and his eyes, and then right above there's one that has kind of a strange, like the skulls from Prophets or whatever, shaped head right here.
Yeah, we can
And
see your
I
cursor.
outlined him with the green. Can anybody see it?
Well, you're gonna have to talk to somebody besides me because my brain just sees scratches on rocks. That's all I see.
Okay, then let me try and find the other one, the big Indian head that has the writing on it, and I'll be back with you guys. I don't know if you could even let's see, send it.
So, am I muted?
No, you're not, but that's okay. We
Oh,
love you anyway.
that's good. So, what is the significance of this snake?
The snake? It's
Yeah.
where we're going when we leave the planet.
Oh,
That is, we
okay.
pierce
That's
its head and it bruises our heel, or we'll be on the other side of it.
Okay.
So I think it's where the
so.
next.
Is
I
it
think it's
just
where
the
the next
general
Earth is.
direction, or like?
It's a
Because
super
that's
specific general direction, in fact.
um. But are we specifically going to that nebula? Because that isn't that like. Is it an actual nebula or is it an empty part of space?
So it's a nebula, and the dark part is like, I don't know, I'm going to say used up nebula where you can see through it, which is why you
Okay.
see star systems on the other side. Yes,
Do you
George, I think it
know?
is.
Are we going to get there quickly, or is it going to be like a long journey, sort of
No
thing?
idea. I don't know any way to know that from the text.
Okay. Bugger.
The only thing I can say, Sammy, is there's a scene in the book of Revelation where after it describes heaven as real objects, those real objects being the size of this planet or about to this down to the size of our moon, those real objects roll up like a scroll, and every mountain is moved. Now, I cannot tell you what that means, but I can tell you that it sounds like rolling up a piece of paper that contains like planets. You ready to share,
Okay.
Kim?
Yes. Can you see? I don't know how to get the picture centered better, but right here's his eye and his nose. Here's his
Move your
mouth down
cursor
here.
slower. Can you move your cursor a little bit slower because I keep losing it on the YouTube?
Okay. Here's his forehead. And then you can see his eyelashes
All
right
right.
there. And his nose that goes down. And then his teeth are right here. You can even see a root going down on it. And then these are the feathers of the headdress.
Oh yeah.
What about the
And
symbols that are
That's
on it?
a fair bit of pareidolia, though. Like, you really got to stretch to see it.
okay, let me
Give
show
me
you
some
what
camera,
that was.
Dave. Give me some camera, Dave. Love you, Dave. Give me some camera. Thank you, Dave.
It looks like that.
You got to see me in my red speedos, don't you?
It's just too sexy. I
I'm
cannot
kidding around. I'm
resist.
kidding around. All right. Hey, one
You
thing I
know
just
he
wanted to
does.
say. Give me 30 seconds, Richard. I got to tell you something important.
Well, you have to ask the whole room, but we'll try.
Well, no, it really is important.
I
All
love
right. When
Go
you
ahead.
when you
purple.
when you capture your screen, I
Yeah.
don't know if you care to show your email on there all the time, but if you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I was trying to
So
avoid it. That was someone
yeah,
else
well, let me tell you
sharing.
what you're doing. Let me tell you what you're doing wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you go to settings, never choose. What are the choices again? Go to settings. What are the choices again? I forgot because I can't do it on here while I'm watching you.
Yeah, it's okay.
My
Don't
YouTube
just
and no, my Twitter and YouTube are my business. So if I show them, I don't need a lecture.
Okay. So,
I didn't ask.
Dave,
I just wanted to make sure
Dave,
you didn't want to. If whoever was showing their email didn't want that.
yeah,
Oh,
I
I
keep
don't.
trying to
But
take
never
it down when
capture
they.
your whole screen. Never capture your whole screen. Try to learn how to do it that way if you want to. I'm just letting you know that. But
Right.
if whatever you, I didn't know. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Okay, so that was Kim sharing, and we had to like walk
Yeah.
her through it, and it was her first try, and she showed her email. I kept trying to bring it down whenever she showed it, but
Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
yeah, we're gonna work on that over time. And Dave, it's good
Yeah,
advice.
I'm
Thanks
just
for the
trying to give
advice,
you
Dave.
tech support, but it's hard to
Oh
do it.
well,
I
that's
know what I'm
very
talking about,
smart.
and I can tell you how to do it, but I just got to open up another
I
browser.
know,
But I'm just
and
trying to keep you out of trouble.
yeah,
Thank you.
10-4.
Appreciate
Just
that, Dave.
over and above.
So I don't know if that helps bring him out, but
So move your cursor slow so we can keep an eyeball on your cursor as you point
Yeah.
things out.
See, it's but can you see that it's almost cartoon-like?
It is.
this is my parents were camping up on the top of this rock, so it's a really large rock,
Okay.
and it's I looked up Native American like ancient ones with the headdresses, and control where is that control plus.
We have mountains like here, like this, with the First Nations, but they aren't always good stories. Like some of the little squiggly lines, the thin ones you see, are like I'm looking at it in a different way because I know what a lot of those
Hey
ones.
guys, I'm looking at a UFO
It's gonna be
right
a
now.
volcano, okay, or some sort of thing. Like
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we
You're
I'm
up.
hear
looking at a
I can hear you.
UFO. I'm on the Interstate 78 going westbound, mile marker 22.6. There's a UFO on the west side of the highway, just sitting over the highway.
Try to capture it,
you. Yeah,
Well,
you
go-
need to film
not
that.
physically.
Stop and talk to them. Ask them if they'll give you alien baptism.
They're just right over the mountain, just sitting right over the mountain.
I wish I was with you. You could drop me off, or I'd ask them to give me alien baptism.
no, like am I still in exile or can I go back home? Like
Yeah, they were on the right side. Now they're on the left side of the highway. They're just
What is an alien baptism?
I don't know.
Well, I was told I had
Yeah,
that one time by a Baptist preacher. He told me you got alien baptism. You need to be baptized properly. But I figured if I could find a UFO, I could get alien baptism. That'd be great.
It's right around exit 20 right here at Interstate 78 going westbound in New Jersey. They're somewhere on the borderline. They have to be like on the border of PA and Jersey, right over the mountains over here.
Are they hovering?
Yeah, they're hovering over the mountain, and it's moving pretty quick too. It's moving like right, left, right, left.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'll be right back.
You should jump off here and pull over and film it.
Yeah, film it would be a good idea if you can.
Is that I'm moving now? I see tree lines to disappear behind the tree line, but as soon as this tree line goes away, maybe I'll see them again. And I just
What
saw a
does,
meteorite right before this.
I'll ask you first, Richard, and then I guess the conversation can go where it goes. But how do you feel about modern UFO sightings? More and more governments revealing their UFO files. Well, how does that fit in? Like, do you believe that they might be visiting in spaceships and buzzing around, and we're getting little glimpses of them?
I think they've been visiting us for thousands of years.
What I think, Sammy, is I don't know what they are, first of all. That's the first thing I think. And then I think
pretty honest.
on top of that, I don't think anybody, including like our best scientists, know what they are either, which is worse than me just being ignorant. It seems that we're all ignorant.
Yeah.
And the
But
only
can
thing,
we guess for fun? Like I
What's that?
want you to, I want you to guess for fun. I want Richard's opinion.
okay, here's my fun guess. Here's the best my imagination and brain can do. It seems that from all our observation, space and time are tied together. And from what I understand, although I don't understand much about it, the further you are out of a gravity well, the comparatively slower time moves, which means, I mean, compared to where we are now at the bottom of a gravity well. What that means in real terms is if you created anti-gravity, it would also be anti-time?
I'm backwards. Isn't it the further away from gravity, the faster time goes?
Yeah, that's
Time
what I said.
goes slow.
From our perspective here on this Earth, the further you are out of a gravity well, to us, anyway. So what I'm saying is, if they're using anti-gravity as a technology for like propulsion and controlling of things, they would be moving at space-time speed in a gravity well. Does that make any sense to you? But at least that's where my brain goes.
Okay. So we wouldn't see them.
Well, we would see them, but when they go really, really slow, it would look to us like they're hitting Mach speed or Mach 2.
I gotta go to bed.
Okay.
I love you. I love you.
Good
all.
night.
Love you, Krypton.
Thank you.
Sleep well.
So it could be, Sammy,
okay.
that when they go really slow, which is how they can make super sharp turns, because to them they're going really slow, is the only time we can see them.
See them.
And the rest of the time they would just be moving too fast for us to be able to pick it up.
Which would describe how they appear to behave a lot of the time.
Makes sense to me, because if they were moving that speed and there was some kind of a living creature in it, a biological inside of it, and it turned in those kinds of radiuses without losing speed, like every biological I've ever heard of would be stuff smeared on a wall.
Well, you've also got to think like, you know, there's essentially not an explosion, but when we break the sound barrier,
Yeah.
you hear it.
Yeah, you actually hear it. That's right.
These guys seem to be able to move beyond that seamlessly and silently.
Yeah, without they're going that fast, not breaking the sound barrier. That's right.
They're not using the same type of propulsion system as we are.
The propulsion system has nothing to do with whether or not you have.
How much you want to bet if I was over there as a pilot and an air traffic controller and have a lot of experience in aviation, Yuri, that I would have fucking told you what that really is? You probably don't even know what you were looking at. It's probably something very not like you're telling it.
You're here to share,
I
man.
don't
Go
believe
ahead.
you, Yuri. I can't see it. I'm just saying how
You don't
much you
have
want to
to.
bet. If I was over there with you right now and saw it, I would have told you what that was, and it wasn't even anything you're thinking about. Or I bet it was something completely different. What did it look like? Describe it to me, Yuri.
It was just like a light that's constantly like flickering.
See, you don't listen, Yuri. That could have been
And
you could have
moving from the left to
you
the
could have
right
been going
really
past
fast,
an
wasn't it?
airport. You could have been going past an airport with something. I don't know what you had going on there, but I got
Dave,
news for you.
it was moving too quick across the sky for an airplane.
I want to let everyone know that 420 is in Australia and has a delay. Don't think he's being rude.
Sorry. Yeah.
420.
It's not
I
your
thought
fault,
you were
man.
kidding around. 420. Okay.
No, he's in Australia, dude.
No, at first when you said 420, I thought you were joking about marijuana. But that's it didn't catch. It took me a nanosecond to figure it out. Then.
Okay.
So yeah, didn't you say it was going from left to right to left to right?
So-
Yeah, it went like
Two-
from the north to south, and then it went back to north, and then it's back in the south, and then there's just mountains over here. The nearest airport would be in Allentown, PA, but I'm like 65 miles away from there.
Do you know how many toys there are now, Yuri, with lasers and stuff that people play around with and they fly? They
It's not a toy, Dave. It's too far away.
Listen, man. I've been around
Serious.
a little bit, aviation. I know what I'm talking about. But just not everything's a flying saucer, right?
Maybe it's an angel, David.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it is what it is. I thought it wasn't an airplane because it was moving too quick. I see airplanes all the time. I mean, I know what an airplane is. Anyway, I'm gonna do what I'm doing and let them do what they do. I don't really care what they do. Whatever.
So
it is,
can I ask you, news unit, how would it affect your faith if a spaceship landed on the White House lawn and the government come out and said,
I got
look,
an easy-
aliens
I
are
got a
here,
better answer.
we've been talking. No, but answer that first and then you can ask your question.
Well, I'll put it this way. I already said this last night on my broadcast, one of them. But if a spaceship landed out here on the lake right by my house, okay, what if? All right. I'd go out there and deal with it, straight up. I'd get the boat out or whatever I had to do to go right up to it, get the quad out and drive on the ice to it, walk out to it. It wouldn't even bother me. It wouldn't even faze me. Nothing.
Dave, at the first sighting, you would be paralyzed.
No, I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
but would you, how would it affect your faith?
They
Would
would
you just
paralyze you,
think that,
Dave.
would you just think that God has created aliens as well? And would you preach to them?
No.
Would you ask them if they knew about God and Jesus, or?
Well, they know about God. I'll tell you that.
What even
So you laugh
They know about God because they also have a
because you
creator.
hear the ridiculousness.
I actually think it's a really good question.
I'm telling you, they fear God.
Send them over to my house then. Send them over here.
Well,
I'll do it. I'll film it for you. I don't give a shit.
if you sit there long enough, you'll see them.
Oh, it ain't
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Dave, if you sit there long enough, you'll see them.
You laugh it off, but you also don't answer the question.
Because it's irrelevant. That's why.
Is it?
He's asking if it would affect your faith, Dave.
Yeah, it's a very good question.
Never.
If aliens were real, would it affect any part of your worldview whatsoever?
No, they're not real, and it won't have an effect. I hope.
So you can't answer the question, can you? You can't even entertain.
For your sake, I wish they were real, but they're not. But for your sake, I wish they were, and they'd come over to my house, so I could show you what I would do.
Yeah, but we don't care what you would do.
Yeah, you do. You keep asking me.
Do you want a medal or a chest to pin it on, buddy? I'm asking, would it affect your faith? And you're too chicken to answer the question.
What do you want me to say? No, I told you. I mean, what do you want me to say? Yes, I told you no. You want yes, you don't want no.
Why
So,
would it affect your faith, though?
Affect my faith.
Like,
I'm not
why
going
would
to
it have
believe
an
what the Bible
effect on your
says
faith?
anymore. It would change a lot of things. I would look into different things. I would
it doesn't change anything about your
I would
Bible.
start conjuring all these things and getting telescopes and fucking put my.
It doesn't change anything about the creation story.
No,
It doesn't
it
change
doesn't, because
anything.
I'm trying to
If I
explain
got a
it to
sex
you.
change tomorrow, how would I feel?
They're,
Is that what you want to ask
they're
me?
all
It's not gonna
created
happen.
by the same God. Even the aliens are created by the same God.
Wow. I think you're
You're
getting
asking
pretty
a
defensive.
real relevant question. Come on, I know it's hypothetical. I get it, but really, man. Seriously,
Yes, seriously.
I'm not jumping your chops
Pretty
too hard. I'm just saying,
simple.
you guys.
Pretty simple question to get so upset
It
over
is not.
and defensive.
I'm not getting defensive. Relax. Jeepers.
I'd like to answer the same question, Sammy.
Thank you, Richard.
It would confirm the Bible for me, because not only does it say that the angels are literal aliens, but it also says there's those in heaven who are not liars, and they say that our God is not their God, which makes them definitionally aliens.
Anyway, after my
Good
encounter
answer. I
with
can't.
aliens, they already told me that they're afraid of God as well. So there's no doubt in my mind about that.
Peace and respect in the side chat. I don't know how to pronounce that. Vivek, Mitt Romney, and Ox. Peace and respect, Ox. How you doing, bud? Vivek, Mitt Romney, this is an unusual night. Not exactly the topic I normally talk about on this channel. Mostly I talk about religious texts and stories, and whether or not they can be seen as realistic in the actuality we observe. That's what this channel is usually about.
Anyway, interesting night.
You know, the background noise, I think probably from your equipment around you there, Holy Spirit. It sounds like a crowd of people at a restaurant quietly chatting with each other, but like 1,000 people. That's what it sounds like from here.
That's his truck going down the highway. It's not that loud actually to me. I'm used to it though. He's always on my channel like that. I'm just used to it.
Oh, okay.
When it gets loud, I tell him to mute, but right now it's not really that bad.
Right.
He's it's just, you know. But ask him to mute it. He'll mute it all. He'll mute it once in a while.
Yeah, if I'm making too much noise, feel free to mute me. I mean, it's not a problem.
Well, how about if you just muted whenever you don't feel like talking?
Yeah, there you go. When you're not talking too much, you're just mute.
Yeah. Here, just mute me, because sometimes it's easier for me to just get muted. I'll mute.
Well, then you. Oh yeah, you can mute you too. Yeah.
Well, I want
There
to
you
let the
go.
guy talk when he wants. I want it
Right.
to be
No,
his
that's cool.
choice.
He's not hard to get along with. I know he
Right.
likes to kick in once in a while and say shit, and, but he gets kind of stirred up. But he's not. You're a good guy.
No, that's cool.
We all get a little
Well,
bit testy once in a while. You know how it is, but we get over it. He won't keep it up he gets real reasonable.
so let me see if I can kickstart a conversation again. This is my interpretation of an idea for idea interpretation of same stuff that the King James, etc., was interpreted from. I just don't leave out any words, and I use as few conjunctions as possible. To Adam, Jehovah angels said, "Because you have listened to the encouragements of your women, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you will not eat of it," meaning you will not be able to eat of it. "Now, cursed is the ground," meaning the whole earth, "here for your sake." And yeah, the word "here" is actually there. "But in sorrow you will eat from soil all the days of your life." That meaning, toil, work. But back to this planet, to this location, "Thorns and thistles alone will this planet produce for you, and you will, in the future, eat the herb of the field." So there was a continuous context there, but it switched back and forth twice between what we see here and the future of here, and what we'll see in heaven and the future in heaven. And I suppose a lot of people would object to that, but I think that's what it is. I'd like to point out that bananas and basil and, I don't know, rutabagas are not thorns and thistles. They're not. And we do not eat thorns and thistles on this earth, and we never have. And none of that is true literally. In fact, I don't know of a people who eat thorns and thistles off of anything, in fact. We have somebody in the StreamYard backstage, and Sammy says, "Just go on without me, man." Okay.
Another trick you can do,
It was me swapping
Richard.
devices.
That
Go ahead,
on the
Dave,
right
speak it.
on the right side of your StreamYard, you got these brands or whatever. I think there you can upload a picture, and then instead of having everybody wave at you, you can grab that picture and just put it full screen, and then see who comes in, and then you're good to go and talk to them, and just make it quicker that way. I'll show you sometime how to do it when you get.
Or I
around
could
to
just
it.
do what I'm doing now if you look at the screen.
No, I know, but I can show you a real quick. I just decided I was doing it your way for a little while too.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? It's quicker if I just put the picture up real fast, and then it's like, and then because I had some goofball ISIS guy playing with himself. It does.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have that much of a problem with everything, but I'm just saying it might be another way of doing it. Someday I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I already know what you're talking about, Dave, and,
Oh,
and I
okay, you
agree
got-
with you.
you
That's
fig-
a
yeah,
good.
okay.
That's a good way to do it. I already knew how to do that, Dave.
Right, and then you got if you know them, most of them, you know our voices, so that's all that is.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, you can't hear voices backstage, but that's
Well,
okay.
once you bring them in, you can, and you got the screen up,
You
and
got
you
'em
got
blocked
them.
out. Right.
Right.
But
Just
what it
another
does read is
technique
no, it's good. It's handy information. Thank you. I kind of already got into a habit of doing it with one certain way.
right. That's
You'll
fine.
forgive me for my habits.
No, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you ideas. That's how you do what you want.
It's a good idea. It's totally solid. I've seen people use it. I know you're right. "By the sweat of your brow you will eat bread. When you return to the lands you were taken out of." Now, if you recall back to Genesis 3:2, man was not in the garden and was already made and was put into the garden. So to return to that state is to return to not in the garden. If that doesn't seem a little bit redundant to you and obvious. "Because you are of pulverized debris, and to that debris you will return." You'll go back to the source of the really tiny stuff you're made of. That is to say, I believe, genetic material that comes from Adam. So Adam, which Adam would be restored in heaven already, because he was not of this particular earth. So Adam, the emotional animal, had called his wife Shavah, or Eve, because women will be the mothers of all the living of our kind, which seems really obvious. To Eve and Adam gave Jehovah angels coats of skins and clothed them. So this is like durable, flexible, warm, not inefficient, spiky, or just plumb darn naked. And the Jehovah angels said, "Look, mankind has become as one of us, now knowing good and evil. And now he need only put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life, as he took of the tree of knowledge of good and evil," because that's an ellipsis right there. I stuck it back in. "And eat and live forever." So do the same thing again, only this time you're going to live forever from this point forward. Because all of this, Jehovah
Sorry.
angels sent. It's okay. Accidents happen. Because all of this, Jehovah angels sent mankind forth from this earth to work in the land he was taken from, that being heaven. So Jehovah drove out mankind, that is end times, and you won't be able to stay, where Jehovah had placed east of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned in all directions, that marked the direction of the tree of life. You guys may not be aware, and some of you probably are, each star has its own light signature, including ours. So the flaming sword turning every way outside the garden, and or our cherubim and or our sun, has a very specific light signature, which if you just had that light signature recorded, you could just peek around space looking for that light signature, and you would know exactly where this Earth is. Within 8 light minutes anyway.
Oh, Richard, this is really random, but if I don't tell you, I'll forget again. So I don't know how true this is because I haven't looked into it. So it's only the one person's word that I have to go off. But
Right.
apparently, as you know, until whatever decade it was, the 90s or 2000s even, the Catholic Church sat very tightly on the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yep.
And one of the most recent discoveries is the Tetragrammaton with the vowels.
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, and guess how God's name was said?
Go
We
ahead.
actually know now how it was Yahovah.
Yahovah.
Yep. So Jehovah is pretty damn close.
That is close.
What's with all that
Sorry,
stuff? What's with all those stars behind you and all those snakes and stuff? And
that's just
Baphomet.
that's to annoy like fundamentalist Christians.
That doesn't annoy me at all.
Okay,
I just want to know what the hell's up with it. You like all that stuff?
Yeah, I like the look of it.
What does it mean to you?
Not much at all.
That
It's
you
a
just
cool
like to
picture.
annoy? You think that really annoys people, like the chick laying there and the stars and all those satanic, witchcraft symbols?
Some people.
Made you talk about it?
Right. I'm just asking you though. I mean, is that your deal?
I don't really have a deal, to be honest. I'm pretty fluid.
You're gender fluid?
I try to be.
Are you
No.
binary?
Binary
Are you
in what way?
I don't know. You said you're fluid. Maybe you're binary. Or I don't know. People use all these weird words.
Are you
today.
so now we're talking about my sexuality, or
Could be your spirituality.
well,
May not be that at all.
I'm pretty hard atheist. I don't really have a
Oh,
spirituality.
you're a hardy. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right.
Yeah. Did you see my name, Richard?
I like it. I agree with it as a statement.
Yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, that's right. It was just a little bit of trivia there about God's name.
Right. Peace and respect, Bree.
Hey, man.
Hooray.
Hey, my little Aussie. Just playing the Baphomet. Rock on, babe. Who else? I don't know these other gentlemen or ladies or gentlemen. Hello, I'm Bree. Holy Spirit and fire and the news. You know, are these friends of yours, Richard? I just got back.
I know Dave of the news unit, kind of,
Mhm.
and I've talked to Holy Spirit and Fire for, I don't know, one-on-one to where I could actually understand something, maybe 20 minutes so far. So I don't know them hardly at all.
Okay. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, we just kind of casually ran into each other on the Praise I Am channel. I think quite honesty is where it happened, right?
Oh,
Maybe.
I go to praises sometimes. Yeah.
I'm gonna run anyway. I got some stuff I want to do, but
Okay.
I just
Have a good
just
morning,
kind of
Dave.
hopping. All right, take care, man.
See ya.
Okay. Hope I didn't run anybody off.
I doubt it.
No.
Dave ain't the kind of person you run off easily anyway.
Yeah.
No, he's more likely to fight you if he thinks you're like being offensive on purpose or something than he is to like leave because he's offended. He's not like that.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to fight me then, Bree, because of my background.
Yeah. That's what actually was going to come in, and then that stuff came up, and I was like,
And that whole
so
I said I'm pretty fluid in my stance, actually. I was going to say I try not to be, set in my ways or not open to new ideas, but he instantly goes, "Oh, you're non-binary? Right are we going to my sexuality?"
Yeah.
Not exactly what you were saying. I'm going to grant him for now that was an honest question because
Yeah, I
you guys
believe him.
you guys kind of talked over each other. I don't think he could hear the nuance of your inflection. So,
Yeah, I don't get offended by
So,
it.
so you guys practice any kind of techniques, spiritual techniques?
who, the atheists in the room?
Yeah,
Oh.
everybody.
Okay.
Well,
No.
No?
spiritual. I don't
No.
believe. Well, I should let's not jump to conclusions. What do you mean when you say spiritual? And I can answer it better.
You're
Well,
so generous, Bree.
There's a lot of spiritual techniques and tools that we're given as humans.
Hmm. So, when you say techniques, it's like something you do to get forgiveness from your fellow man, or from some other force in reality.
Uh, why do you need forgiveness? Do you feel that you've done something wrong?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking exactly.
So, forgiveness is always tied into some kind of sin or something.
Yeah. So you're asking for.
Disobedience to some kind of law. So you feel like you need forgiveness.
Are
But,
you asking for God's forgiveness?
well, if we touch on that subject, then there's many definitions of God. There's the Israelite God. There's the
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
pagan
kind of
gods,
what I was asking.
Hindu
though.
gods. I mean,
So, well, then let's go there. I wanted to ask you actually. So, you believe in aliens? You said you've seen 3 aliens. Hey, Ox.
yeah, yeah.
Love you, Ox. Force is strong in you, young Padawan. Soon you will rise to master atheist debater. I doubt it.
Yeah, I had
I'm
a
just-
experience in the past with Ray.
Please tell us about that experience. I'm sure Bree and Richard would love to hear it too.
I mean, what would you like me to tell you about it?
Well, was this
Kinda like,
were you?
it's
was
kind of.
like
It
a
feels like
in-bed
it
sort
feels
of
like
thing,
mental
or-
rape. That's what it feels like. Like you've been raped mentally.
Oh, that's awful.
That
So
doesn't sound good.
Are you talking about an abduction experience?
No, it wasn't an abduction, but they force themselves into your mind
Oh
without
wow.
your approval. Yeah. So
So
it feels
when did
like
this happen?
mental rape. Yeah.
So
Did this happen
this
to you
was
more than once, or?
sorry. Did it happen more
I
than
mean,
once?
that's the only way they can communicate, so that makes sense. But at first, as your first experience, it feels like kind of rape because you don't expect it. And as
So
you
it
dwell on it
was.
and think about it,
Were they speaking to you? Like, was it a voice or
yeah,
was it?
it was. No, listen, our verbal communication is very limited because we can only say certain words. With telepathic communication, everything is visual, so they portray images onto your mind. So an image, it's like a book. It's like watching a video.
How did
So
you rule out? How did you determine it was aliens and not
It
demons?
sounds like you, Richard.
I'm not paying this guy. I'm really
Yes,
not.
you are.
No, I'm not. I don't even know this guy.
why would he be paying me? I'm just telling you the truth.
You're saying very similar things to the way Richard has described things to me.
Well, because a lot of people experience a similar thing in the world. If you go around, and my experience that I had, I didn't really talk about it until I actually heard other people talk about it on the internet all over the place, and they all kind of explained the same type of experience. So that kind of tells me I'm not the only one who experienced it.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys keep
now
this going. I'm gonna go have my smoke.
And now I'm not want to diminish your experience or anyone else's experience or make any judgment calls. I'm not a doctor or a mental health specialist. Having said all that, have you ever considered that it's something psychological? And I know when
Oh yeah,
with
definitely.
the
You
response
consider
that
that.
it's,
You
I know
definitely
that it
consider
happens to a
that.
lot of people, right? But the thing is, these sorts of things happen culturally. So uh, on an island where they don't have never had sci-fi and UFOs and that sort of thing, their experiences are going to be more. They're going to see their monsters and their cultural
Well,
things.
they're not monsters. I know exactly what I saw. They're not monsters. They're just creatures from another. I believe they're from a different dimension, personally.
Mm. But you've
I'm
just
not
described
saying
a
that they're
different
from a
sort
different
of
planet.
monster. That's all.
But
Yeah.
are demons the same thing as aliens then?
Nah, well, demons have their purpose. Demons torment people who commit sins against the Creator's law. Now, these beings, they're from a different dimension. They have a different purpose.
A different purpose? Are they outside of? Are you a religious person? Are you like? Do you believe in God, stuff like that, like our God?
Oh yeah, definitely. Even aliens believe in God.
So, is God transdimensional then?
Oh yeah, he creates everything. He's the supreme creator of all.
He's above all of it.
Yeah, he's the creator of all of it. He's the supreme designer.
Are there infinite dimensions?
Possibly. I'm not sure how many, but I'm pretty sure there's many.
So we're.
Go ahead, Sammy. I'm sorry.
No, because I don't know that I can word it. You know the discussion that we've been having recently with Jill about where God exists?
Yeah, like outside of reality or within reality, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I want to sort of go down that route with him where like
Okay, yeah, let's explore that. So, because these dimensions, first we need to define reality, though. We need, because we don't want to straw man him. Holy Spirit, you think you can handle that?
Well, defining reality?
What is reality? Yeah, how do you define reality?
Reality is what you experience through your own through your own eyes, basically.
Okay.
It's your brain kind of observes everything, and some people see, when you look at the sign, you see, oh, there's a sign, but it might be green, and some people will see gray or something. Even that reality to them is different.
But I mean, there is a reality that the green wavelengths of light are there, though, regardless of whether your retinas can pick that up. In reality, those wavelengths of light exist, right? So that's something that exists in reality and in our observation. Now, there are things in reality that we can't observe, and there are things in reality that we may never be able to observe. There's definitely forces that are invisible. Think about things like gravity, for instance, is something you can't see, right? But it's there, and there's ways to measure it. So when it comes to, I guess, concepts like God, they exist beyond those rules that we would normally use to measure things, to measure reality, right? So does God exist outside of reality?
I think he exists outside and inside. He's everywhere, literally. Let me ask you this. It's a more simple question. That way you can understand it better. What makes your heart beat?
Electrical impulses in my body.
Electrical. Are they? Is the electrical impulses? Can you see them with your eye?
Nope.
So where are they? But they're part of your reality, correct?
Right. We can measure them with
Yeah. Well, you need a device to measure them. So without a device, you won't be able
to. Right. You can feel their. I mean, you can put your hand there and feel.
You can hear them and feel them.
Okay. Now let me ask you another question. When you go to sleep, and where do you go? Like mentally, where does your body go to get rejuvenated, to get energy?
So my body goes into a low metabolic rate, a lower metabolic rate. There's different phases of the sleep cycle, but it goes into a lower metabolic rate. But my brain, it runs through. I don't want to make it sound too silly, but kind of like a screensaver of world experiences, and kind of refreshes my mental reactions while my body's shut down. So my brain's running dry cycles. That's what dreaming is. It's just it's a rehash of your experiences and how you respond to them. Software. A software update, if you will, running software, because your memory. Yeah, it's not like the reason your brain has to do this is because your mind's not like software. Every time you remember something, you're not remembering You're not remembering it from when it happened. You're remembering it.
What if I told you a technique right now that you could do?
Hang on, I just wanted to comment on that last.
5 minutes. It only takes 5 minutes, and in that technique, you can meet somebody.
Okay. Let Sammy do the response real quick, and then we'll talk about your technique. I'm definitely interested.
What? You'll have to remind me what you were saying, Bree, if you can remember.
The 420. I get you, babe. I'm there too now. What was I saying?
You guys don't smoke enough to catch up with me, guys. You gotta smoke more.
I was we were talking about existing outside of reality, and he mentioned dreams, and I mentioned that
that's right.
Running through a cycle.
So the thing that you're misunderstanding, and so many people make this mistake. Where do we go when we sleep? Or they equate sleep to death. So wrong. So wrong. You don't go anywhere, and your mind doesn't shut down. It doesn't stop. It never stops. From the minute that you have consciousness, it doesn't stop until you die.
Have you ever had an out-of-body experience?
If you don't remember your dreams, you think you haven't.
Have you ever had an out-of-body experience?
No, because they don't exist.
Yeah.
You can have an experience.
You could hallucinate one.
Yeah,
Well, imagine that.
how do you explain the Hindus that leave their bodies and never come back?
Show me one.
they leave
How?
they
What do
leave
you
their bodies
mean?
and don't come back. Or they
They
don't.
they they willfully depart from their body with their soul, and they never come back. They basically move on to the different life.
What happens to their body?
What?
It just dies.
So they die. Okay.
So you're
Yeah, they
saying
but
these
it's
people
they
die?
don't they basically choose to basically end this existence by leaving their body and never coming back to it.
Do you know what my
Oh,
answer is? If there is actually a group out there that they sit there and they're
Yeah,
meditating and all of a sudden they just fall over dead, I will
they
guarantee
don't
you
they don't they don't
they
fall
took
over that. They
poison,
actually, you know what they
they
do?
took
They write
poison,
a
or they
letter. They
were
say goodbye
poisoned,
to
or
everybody, and they say, I'm leaving this earth. I lived long enough. I'm not coming back. I'm saying my goodbye to everybody. Bye bye." And then they
yeah,
go into
yeah,
the state, a certain state, where they just leave
yeah,
everybody and they're gone.
yeah. But how? Where? All you can see, the family can see, all anyone can see is a person just died.
Well,
You've not
yeah,
shown me
because
that they went anywhere with any soul. A person just died. So the most you
yeah,
could say
but
is they
they do
can
it
heal themselves
willingly.
mentally, right?
They do it willingly on their own,
there's
without any natural cause. Their body still lives, but they choose
You would
to end
have to
this life.
prove that there's no cause. You've just accepted that there was no cause.
I'm
so.
telling you,
Can we
there's no
look at
cause.
some of these cases? I'm interested, but
You got to learn a lot
someone
more
having
about this.
doing a especially because a lot of the I don't know about these individuals, but a lot of the people who go into these shamanic trances and stuff use additional substances to help kind of fuel that journey, and sometimes those can cause bad biological
Cardiac
responses.
arrest, or
Yeah, cardiac arrest is the main one. You can have a heart attack by having a bad trip, right? Or have a panic
yeah.
attack. But
And for me, it's this. Like, I know it's probably pretty simplistic to someone like you, Holy Spirit, but the way my mind works is it more likely that these people are meditating their soul away, or that there's a religious group who have this secret tradition that they're famous for being able to do this when passed through the priest or the head dude or whatever, from head dude to head dude, is that when they go to do this ritual, their last meal is laced with fucking poison. I could come up with 1,000 explanations for it, is what I'm saying. And all of them are more plausible, no matter how unplausible, than someone's just leaving their body. You're muted, Richard.
Sorry to interrupt. Thank you. Quick point. BGLVSY111 backstage. I'm going to need you to turn on a camera. And I'm going to need you to take your left hand and hold 3 fingers in front of your left eye. Or I can't let you in.
Because that's a dodgy ass name. It's a porn bomber's name.
Okay. Good enough. Thank you.
They're real. Oh, I think that's our friend.
hello, can you hear us?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hear you. Loud and clear.
you look
5 by
cozy.
5.
Were you listening? Do you know what the conversation is about?
A little bit. I was listening to Holy Spirit and Fire, and then you're talking about out of body experiences. So I just wanted to come on because on June 30th, I had a really, really bad out of body experience, and haven't been able to really talk about it much. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, are you serious?
I had seizure while I was driving on the freeway,
Oh,
and I mean, I can. It's a long story, but
Yeah,
I'm happy
please
it
I-
helped
tell.
me.
I'm
It's
here
Richard's
for it.
channel. I shouldn't.
If Richard's okay with it, if not, we can go someplace else and talk. But I want to hear
if
your
if
story.
one of you guys want to start a stream, I actually am getting tired, but I'll stay on long enough for you to do this story and start a stream.
Okay,
I just
well,
stopped driving for a little bit,
so
so go ahead.
prior to all of this, I had my ex-girlfriend. She was very spiritual, and in the beginning, I was just getting started. I was working on myself, listening to Eckhart Tolle, Manly B. Hall, listening to all different philosophers, and she got me involved with a lot of angel numbers, and she did a lot of Reiki healing and stuff while I was with her, and it was a very crazy experience. And I still don't know if it was, some people said it was demonic because I had some very, very vivid dreams where it was like the Matrix. I'm not even kidding. Like, I remember being in a dream. We would take like an eighth of mushrooms, and there would be times where like she like put her hand over my heart, and I feel all this energy like shooting through my body. Never had this happen before. And then remember like feeling like I was dying, like, and seeing her in a dream kind of state, and saying like, oh, he's up or whatever. And then like it freaked me out, and kind of came back into my body, I guess, and saw her. And I mean, that was just like the beginning of all of it, and then just weird shit after that started happening. Started hearing like messages through the radio, listening to different types of all different types of stuff. I would meditate every day, and it was I went overboard because I was really trying to heal, I guess, a lot of trauma I guess I had that I didn't really realize I had until I was with her. She kind of brought it all out.
Was there more New Age influence in your life other than just the Reiki?
She was just she always told me that she thought she was like a witch and everything back, like she was always talking about past lives, and I thought it was
So
really
she's into a
interesting.
whole lot of different. Did it feel like she's into a
All
whole
types
lot
of
of
stuff. Yeah,
different?
she calls herself an earth angel or like a spirit angel, and we'd have so many synchronicities, and like she'd point out angel numbers and stuff, and she kind of got me in tune with like seeing as if like the universe was like guiding me. But it kind of messed me up a little bit because I thought the universe was guiding me so far to where I thought I was seeing aliens. I thought I was this basically channeling different, like I felt like I was an antenna on a radio station, and I could tune in depending on what I put my energy in. If I was in like a certain type of state or a feeling, I would pick up on different messages.
Okay, I want to interrupt you just real quick for just to get you to think about something, not to tell you that you're wrong. I don't know that. Okay? But it is true that there are things that are, for us, that are bad against reality, and there are things that are good against reality. And you can tell whether or not something is good against reality because you have successes, whereas things that are not true cause us to have failures. So I would try to concentrate in thinking about this, about what was the overall good or bad effect against reality, if it made you better or worse adjusted to reality, if it made you happier or sadder. I would try to think about that and evaluate it that way.
Definitely. And that's what at first I thought everything was a really good thing. Like I thought I was being guided by the Holy Spirit, literally. But then I started having some really traumatic things happen over and over again, where I was like, okay, am I going down the wrong path? Am I not supposed to be getting involved in these types of energies, I guess you could say? Because I'm telling you, I was like on the verge of schizophrenia, because I would have the weirdest experiences that it's like, I shouldn't even be alive right now, from my car accident. It was so bad to where, I thought I actually died in the car accident, and I got out of the car and I was walking across the 605 freeway, basically into cars, and I could feel them kind of like going through my body, and that was super traumatizing. And I remember looking on the other side of the freeway because I thought no one could see me. I
Oh, so
saw.
you did die, and let me see. I died also, and then they brought me back.
Okay, because that's what I really don't understand how I'm alive, and I've been questioning this so far. But everything didn't feel real for a while. I was having really weird things with time. Like my mom, she would say, "Hey, I'm gonna make you dinner. Are you gonna be here for because I had work at 5 o'clock?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I have work at 5." Um, and basically, she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna make this real quick." She cut open the steak right as soon as she got like it out of the fridge, and I remember walking past her and then turning around, and the food was already done, and I didn't understand how that happened, and it still affects me to this day. Um,
Sounds
Sounds
like
like
but
you're having
you
some
lost
time
time.
loss, babe. You
yeah,
Sounds
still
like
having
you
that,
that?
lost time. Yeah.
yeah. So I felt, and when I had the car accident, I didn't think anybody could see me, and I was walking on the freeway. When I turned around, all of a sudden the cops and the traffic was pulled up, and they were looking in my car, and I thought they were gonna pull out my body. It was that like real, because I'm
Surreal,
like,
yeah. I hear
how
you.
how can these cars just go past me, feeling like I was in my car for like 5-10 minutes, nothing was happening. A guy was working on his car across the street, didn't notice me, and it scared me. And then I went across the street, and then all of a sudden there's traffic and the cops are there and the ambulances are there. I'm like, how did this happen within 10 seconds of me walking across the freeway? um, so
It
that was
didn't.
happening, and
It
that
sounds
was
like you're
really
still
scary.
afraid of it though, man. Like you don't need to be afraid of it anymore.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of.
That's why I'm here to help you, man. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to be afraid of it anymore, man.
Yeah, because I started going to church, and they said there was demons that were like chasing after me, and it made it worse.
Well, people are going to say
Demons.
things like that, brother. Brother, look.
Listen,
People
listen.
are going to say
Call
things they
call on
think is
Jesus,
helping
man.
you.
Call on Him. He'll come and comfort you.
Oh goodness. Well, let's go deeper into this though, because we're not going to jump to the conclusion right now that this is
You hear
something that's
me?
physically happening.
Yeah,
Everything has a purpose.
This
He'll
is
tell
something
you what
that's
you need to correct.
yeah.
You've been given another
Hang on,
chance, man.
Holy
okay.
Spirit.
And
Listen,
when I
so
see like your post on YouTube, I always took things like as a sign, because it's been really tough, trying to
I know
deal
what you're
with.
going through, man. It's don't fear it, man. Don't fear nothing.
well, there's not really. It's this has got to be a state, right, of consciousness that you're experiencing.
Yeah,
Don't
Just
let
don't
don't.
fear anything anymore. Don't listen to people. They're all in the same boat.
yeah, and like, but the thing is I was always, I felt like it was okay to feel the fear because it made me feel alive. Because when I ignored the fear and I was just okay, I'm just gonna trust God and not be fearful, do everything with love. I felt like I blocked out fear when there's times where I normally would be scared, like fucking walking across the freeway. During that time I was like, okay, I'm not like I was like basically challenging all my
Can
fears,
I
even the fear of
can I
death.
tell you something, brother? I have to tell you you're alive, and I can tell it because you have thoughts and feelings that I don't have, and you're telling them to me. And I want you to know that I'm glad you're alive, and I'll bet there's other people in your life who are also glad you're alive.
Yeah,
We're all
absolutely.
glad you're here. That you're making this conversation interesting. You're bringing new information to us. I love it.
Yeah,
I'm so
I
glad
just
you're
I just want
here.
to have like, because I'm an open book. Like I dug deep into trying to understand the stuff I was going through. So I jumped around on like everything, the Kabbalah or whatever it's called, freaking, just
You're
jumping
still
around.
searching, man. You're still searching. I know
Yeah,
you are.
So
absolutely. But I've
I
healed a
don't want
lot
you
of
to
that
feel
pain.
afraid while you're here, though. I don't want you to feel scared. Are you okay?
No, I think it's just because when I talk about, I don't really talk about it a lot.
I can tell you're reliving those moments, and that's difficult. And I appreciate your bravery and your trust in the people on this channel. We're going to try to not abuse, or we're going to try to recognize that in you. Okay.
Man, you're welcome.
Trauma from
Write
an
down.
accident.
Stop in. I hang out with the news unit underground. So if you need something, stop in there. I'm there like every day. So or
Where
you
do I
can
go
stop
for
in by
that? Because
Richard. The
how do
the news unit underground, Dave. That's his name. Or you can stop at Richard's channel and he'll show you where the news unit is. But
okay, yeah, because I subscribe to that.
I had multiple out of body experiences. I also died, but I was only 13 when it happened to me first time.
Dang,
And
'cause
if
I
you
mean,
want to continue this conversation after Richard needs to go,
Yeah.
I've put a link. I've put a
Don't
link
be
in the
afraid,
private
man.
chat.
Just don't let the fear get to you, because that's the
Can you
first
not
thing that
hear
settles
anyone,
in is
bro?
fear.
Because you keep talking over everybody. Hey,
I
maybe you
apologize.
can't
Sorry, I'm
hear us.
gonna mute
That's all
myself.
right.
no, I
Let me
appreciate
just make an
you, bro.
announcement of it. Let me just pause everybody for just a minute. There's a link in the private chat for StreamYard. You can go over to Sammy's, and Sammy's inviting
Okay, I
everyone to
see.
come over and continue the conversation. For me, I'm an old man, and I'm going to sleep. But I
You want
deeply
me,
appreciate all of you. I really do.
you want me to come
Yeah,
over
I
there too,
appreciate
Sammy?
it.
Yeah, bro. If you could.
Okay. Richard, thank you so much for hosting
Um,
us tonight.
Thank you.
Everybody who's been popping in here with you this evening has been great and classy. I showed up right before, like seconds before Cryptomeria left, and I just want to tell her, honey, I'm so sad I missed you. I love spending time with you. So thank you for hosting, Richard, and hanging out with you over at Knox too. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, so let's take this
I'm
time.
trying to download it.
Let's take this time to thank each other. And if you've got something interesting going on YouTube, I'd like you to shill it. I know Bree always has something going on. Go ahead and shill your stuff, Bree. But first, unmute.
I'm muted. I'm muted. So, yes, I'm Bree. I'm from Hive Sci. We do it's mostly a debunking, pre-bunking, scientific analytic channel. We look at different claims like near-death experiences and out-of-body experiences, but also alien abductions, cryptozoological sightings, UFO sightings, things like that. We crack them up and look at them. We also do segments where we engage about like young Earth creationism and flat Earth theory and stuff like that. But it's always a fun time. So please feel free to drop by live from the Hive every Saturday morning and catch it live.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, my Wi-Fi is so garbage. I'm trying to enter the thing, enter the other link.
hi.
Hi,
Yeah,
hi.
that was good.
What about our disgruntled Roo?
I don't know what's going on with Hi, but I'm shutting down this stream. Hi, you're welcome to hit that StreamYard link in the private chat and try over there at Sammy's. But for now, we're wrapping it up, and I'm just getting people's final thoughts. I appreciate you coming in, Hi. BG, I'm just going to call you BG. Final thoughts for now?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely gonna stay updated over on your stream because it's definitely my vibe. So
This is the stuff
I
like
appreciate it.
talking
I'm
about,
happy
for
I
sure.
found you.
Well, hopefully you can tell that I'm quite serious, but I'm not here to make fun of anybody and their experience. I think all of our experiences are real, but all of our experiences need compared to the actuality around us to see if they benefit us or not.
Yes.
You got it started up there, Sammy?
I love.
I'm bouncing out of here.
Yeah, ready to go.
Okay, guys, see yourselves to the door, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you all so much for coming by. Peace and respect to you all, and until next time, I want you all to know that I truly do look forward to the day that we're all great friends.